Nito lang linggo nagpahayag si VP Sara after her resignation bilang DepEd Secretary sa Malacanang. Natatakbo raw ang tatlong Duterte, si Congressman Pulong Duterte, si Mayor Baste Duterte at ang dating Pangulong si Rodrigo Roa Duterte sa darating na midterm election sa 2025 sa pagkasenador.
Senator, yung kuya ko, si Paulo Duterte, yung congressman ngayon, senator, si Sebastian Duterte. So, tatlo ang Duterte next year for senator. Yes, tatlo ang Duterte.
Pagkatapos niyang magbitiw as cabinet member or DepEd Secretary, ay naging leader siya ng oposisyon ngayon. At aniya, mananatili pa raw ang kanilang pagkakaibigan ni BBM.
Pinag-usapan ngayon na politika at sa tingin ko ay magkaibigan pa rin kami ni Pangulong Bongbong Marcos.
Tila yata ang ngiti ni VP Sara ay may halong pang-aasar laban kay Lisa Marcos. Well, we all know about VP Sara na mahilig magpahiwatig as her trademark with her short video clips on TikTok na madalas itong nagbabiral. At sinagot naman niya ang katanungan kung ano raw sagot ni Pangulong Bongbong Marcos sa kanyang resignation.
Sa ibang panahon, pag-uusapan natin yan. Ngayon, ang pag-uusapan natin ay ang transition na.
Shortly, napaka-matalinhaga ang kanyang kasagutan. Lalo na ang kanyang mga ngiti ng isang agila. At maraming nakanotis sa kanyang lieg na may scar daw ito o laslas. Kaya ang sagot ni VP Sara ay may halong pang-aasar para sa mga kalaban o pagpapahiwatig na nagbabiral ito ngayon sa TikTok.
Sinubukan nila akong igurgur pero hindi sila nagtagumpay. Sinubukan nila akong igurgur pero hindi sila nagtagumpay.
Ganyan kawais ang ating VP Sara. Ganito niya pinaglaruan ang mga kalaban niya sa politika. Na di nila magurgor.
Sabi ng gurgur. Okay, gurgur is a Bisaya word which roughly translates to ginilitan or to slash or slit the neck. And she was asked to explain this response of hers during today's event, again on the sidelines. Pakinggan natin ang sinabi na ating Vice Presidente. Hindi naman na siguro kailangan i-interpret yun, very straightforward yun. Tinanong ako kung ano yung sugat na nasa leeg ko at sinabi ko na sinubukan nila ako i-urgur pero hindi sila nagtagumpay. Silang lahat.
O mga trolls, ano kayo? Sagutin nyo ang hugot ni VP Sara, ano? And take note, kamakailan lang nagpahayag si House Speaker Martin Romualdez o si Tambaluslos na namimiss na raw niya ang unit team. Himala! Huwag namang pabudol. Anong meron? Bakit biglang nagbago? Kaya pakinggan natin ang kanyang pahayag.
We miss the closer interactions that we had during the campaign. But nonetheless, there's politics and there's personal, and we only wish the Vice President and nothing but the best.
Naku, ano naman kayang panlilin lang ito, Tambaluslos? Naku, VP Sara, wag na tayong magpabudol uli, ano, sa sobrang ganid ng pamilyang ito. It's a big no-no na to, Marcos. Kinakabahan na kaya? At ito naman ang sagot ni VP Sara.
Speaker Romualdez, nandito daw niya yung unity ninyo dati during election. Anong comment natin dito?
Ayan, tinatawanan ka na lang ni VP Sara. Ang laking sampal niyan. Tambaluslos, Tambi. Yan ang napala mo ngayon para ka ng maamong tupa. Pero noon, pinagtutulungan nyo si VP Sara, mga walang hiya kayo. Kaya wag na tayong magpabudol, no? Lesson learned.
Wala siyang sinabi. Wala. Tumawa lang siya. Alam naman natin, no, the news is important because we do know that the Vice President is a front runner in surveys for the upcoming 2028 presidential election. Tama, congrats. Yung trust and approval ratings niya are the highest, still higher than President Bongbong Marcos. So let's unpack that, and to help us with that, Let's bring in our first guest for tonight. We have Mr. Julio Tehamki, Political Science Professor from De La Salle University. Magandang gabi.
Good evening, Gretchen, Sean, and Pauline. Thanks for having me.
Okay, Professor, 3 Dutertes in the Senate. Did this shock you? And do you see this as a way of shielding themselves from the ICC probe, or are you seeing something else here?
Well, this latest news and development only proves the observation that politics in the Philippines is all in the family. Diba? So, the news announced by no less than VP Sara herself is also straight out of yung tinatawag nating Duterte populist playbook, no? Yung disruptive politics, no? Yung medyo nakakayanig ng mga balitang ganyan. And of course, alam naman natin, we all know that the former president is known for his performative politics, no? And now that you mention it, no, the daughter VP Sara is like the Cheshire cat, no? Mataling haga palagi ang mga short comments niya, di ba?
Diba? Very short, very sweet, at magtataka ka talaga. But ako,
Yeah.
for me, Prof, mas malaking bombshell yung sinasabi niya about roughly the plans for 2028, which is that si Mayor Baste Duterte daw ang tatakbo. As we know, we didn't see this coming. Wala pa siyang early survey numbers at all. What do you think about
Right.
that?
Well, there are several ways to read this latest development, no? Una-una, first you can see it as a political smokescreen, no, to cover their real motives, no? Remember, itong mga Dutertes are both on the defensive and on the offensive politically at this point in time, no? Perhaps this is just one of in a series, no, of political misdirection from their end, no? And second, they're still banking on the Duterte brand, which is still very potent at this point. No? Geographically, they can still count on the Visayas and Mindanao, and the former president and the VP herself remain popular despite the recent controversies. And third, and lastly, it's possible that one of the Dutertes will run, no, for the Senate. No? Most likely, it's Mayor Baste been trying to emulate his father in recent months. So, parang pinapatakam nila yung base nila, no? At tinatago kung sino talaga ang tatakbo, no? Kasi if you look at it, it would be politically unwise for them to all run in the Senate, no? And leave their kingdom unattended and defenseless in Davao. No? Remember, they're also facing a very tough challenge from their former ally, the Nograles, no? And
But,
it's possible, no, na mag-iikot-ikot sila, pero in the end, no, si VP Sara pa rin ang kandidato sa 2028. Perhaps the father or si Pulong will run for the Senate. Basta it's parang nakatago pa rin.
Do you think nakatago talaga on that thought, Professor? Because hindi naman din sobrang rare na may mag-ama or, diba, parent and child or magkakapatid na nasa Senado. We have two pairs right now of those. Although we know that Senator Cynthia is graduating, which would leave Mark Villarreal. But the Cayetano siblings are still there. So, wala naman yatang illegal, diba? Tanggap naman nating mga Pilipino. That's how it goes.
In fact, it goes to show na yun nga ang problema. We have already normalized this kind of politics, no, in dynastic politics na sinatawag natin. Kasi nga in the Philippines, it is political clans and not political parties that are the building blocks of our politics, no? So, na-normalize na yan, lalong-lalo na sa Senado. Alam nyo, no politician would even think about it 2 decades ago, immediately after the EDSA Revolution. Walang mag-iisip na magkamag-anak tatakbo sa Senado, no? So, isang pangitain na baka talagang kailangan balikan natin at itulak talaga yung enabling law regulating political dynasties in the country.
Well, Professor, it is a numbers game, no? Ang politics, alam naman natin,
Precisely.
strength in numbers rin yan. And we mentioned earlier, marami pong nagulat dito sa announcement ni VP Sara. And isa na nga po dyan, si Senator Bato de la Rosa. And he actually told 1PH, sa totoo lang earlier, that he was surprised but also happy about this announcement. We actually have a soundbite. Let's listen to this.
Medyo nabigla. Ngayon lang natin narinig yung balita. Ngayon, so, nabigla tayo. But, anyway, para sa amin, masaya kami. Dahil, kung totoo yan, hindi kami magkakaroon ng Lunday campaign ni Senator Bongo. Iniisip kasi namin kami dalawa lang. Kung tatakbo sila, plus 3 na kami. So, marami-rami na. Masaya itong kampanya namin.
May maaasahan pa kaya si Senator Bato sa lahat ng ginawa niyang kapalpakan sa 2025 election? What do you think?
Well, like what Senator Bato said nga, no? Yun nga, dun pumapasok yung numbers game, the strength in numbers. So, Prof, do you think 2025, the midterm elections, is shaping up to be an administration versus Duterte contest? Or are they really the new opposition?
Okay, kasi on the downside, this announcement, no, while it highlights the Duterte brand, no, it can also be seen as a weakness, particularly on their party, no, yung tinatawag na ngayong PDP walang laban, no, kasi they dropped the laban name, no, so the PDP na lang sila. So they can't even complete the slate, no, so how the mighty has fallen, no, parang hindi na makabuo ng buong slate. And in fact, aminado rin si Senator Bato na yung tatlong re-electionist sa partido nila malalagas pa, magiging dalawa na lang sila. So parang this is a desperation, no, on their part siguro, kung yun ang talagang iniisip na. But I don't think it's that, no, it's actually something deeper, no, may ano yan, no, may laro. Ngayon, again, political rule of thumb, no, dito sa Pilipinas, administration usually has the incumbency advantage in midterm elections. So mahirap bumangga, especially in a 6-year presidency, mahirap bumangga sa incumbent. Mahirap bumangga sa incumbent. Mahirap bumangga sa incumbent, lalo na sa midterms. So palaging yamado ang administration.
Anong masasabi niyo sa opinion ng isang political analyst na to? Na mahirap daw banggain ang incumbent president for the next midterm election dahil yamado raw sila. Well, for Dutertes, isa quite challenging dahil nag-merge nga ang Dilawan at ang Marcos. Pero do you think na magpapatalo ang mga Dutertes? Lalo na ngayon na laging number 1 si Sara Duterte sa mga service, and being a public servant is proven na sa mga taong bayan. Kaya malamang may laban pa rin ang mga Duterte. Kaya as of now, takot na ang mga kalaban. Kaya gumagawa sila ng annoyance ngayon sa social media to destroy Duterte. What are your thoughts on this?
Now, with regard to the opposition, there will be, I think, 2 blocks of opposition, the Dutertes and then the traditional mainstream opposition led by the coalition that supported VP Leni's presidential campaign. But the irony is, mas marami pang mapapagkasunduan yung mainstream opposition at BBM administration kesa sa Duterte opposition at mainstream opposition.
Nagkakasundo nga sila now, Prof. For all intents and purposes, we see them, yung mga so-called Dilawan, they're agreeing. They're on very good terms with the administration. So what do we make of this? Kung parang mukhang, kumbaga na lumamya or parang na-dilute or na-water down yung ating opposition, does that not open a door for the Duterte to...
Not necessarily, no? Kasi ang points of agreement is a matter of foreign policy, particularly with regard to our worsening relationship with China, and then the question of accountability with the supposed entry of the ICC in the Philippines, no, regarding the investigation of the war on drugs, no. So these are very, very important foreign policy issues that, apparently the administration and the mainstream opposition have common grounds. Now, whether this will translate into an electoral alliance is another issue altogether. No? But in terms of politics at this point in time, what we're just seeing is that mas malapit ang mainstream opposition sa administrasyon kesa sa mga Duterte.
Well, it's true kasi ang mga dilawan ngayon ay nakipag-merge na sa BBM administration upang makabalik sila sa posisyon. Kaya dismayado na sila. Gagawin nila ang lahat. Ang lunukin nila ang pride o ang plema para lang makabalik sa posisyon na dati nilang isinusuka. Ang mga Marcoses, na sobra sila makapanlait sa mga Marcoses before. Pero ngayon, kapituko sila para lang makabalik talaga sa kanilang posisyon sa bulok na gobyerno. Kaya ang pambubudol ni BBM sa mga Duterte ay maramang makarma ka rin kung ano ang gagawin sa'yo ng mga dilawan. Time will come.
Professor, speaking of numbers, what's curious to me is the numbers of Paulo and Baste Duterte. We do know that former President Duterte, malakas sa buong Pilipinas. Si Sara Duterte rin, mataas ang rating. Pero yung dalawa, ang alam lang natin sa local, they have a stronghold on that. But when it comes to the national, do we have any sense of how they would fare, especially if you have 3 Dutertes running for the Senate and you have only 12 to elect in mid.
Pero alam nyo ba guys, ay tinututulan nila ang pagtakbo ng 3 Duterte sa midterm election dahil ito raw ay bawal ang political dynasty. Ayon sa isang one-sided political analyst ng Dilawan na si Christian Esguerra. Pero pagdating sa mga Marcoses, sa Cayetano, sa mga Estrada, Villar, Binay, ay hindi bawal. Ang mga Duterte lang ang bawal. Hello! Ngayon pa lang, nagpapakita na kayo ng takot. Hello! Kaya panay ang harang nyo sa mga Duterte. Hintayin nyo na lang at lumaban kayo ng patas.